Hey, good morning. Good morning, you guys. I am here and I am back. Let me turn my phone off. This always distracts me when I'm on here. I am here and I'm back, and we are here to continue our conversation and continue talking about the connection to your audience layer of the cash injection through connection workshop series. Super, super excited for today's topic because I know this is one that a lot of people ask me opinions on, a lot of people struggle with, a lot of people sort of get like they're doing it, but they're not sure how to do it right. They're not sure if they're doing it right. They're not sure if they're doing it enough. So today, I'm super excited to dig into the topic today, and that is we're going to talk about the five surefire ways to build a connection with your market or your audience, right? And if you are watching and you're joining me, and if you're watching the replay, let me know that you're watching. Let me know that you're here. And then I'd love to know in the comments, if you are watching, do you feel right now that you are building, my hair is all out of whack today, you guys. Do you feel right now that you are building a connection with your audience in the way that you would like? Or do you feel like you could be doing it a little bit better? So if you are watching, put a 1 in the comments if you are like loving the connections that you're building and you're feeling really good about how you're building that connection with your audience. And put a 2 if you still feel like it's something that you're struggling with. So again, we're diving deeper into this topic today. So love this stuff. So stoked about this. So I'm going to just dig right into the content and let me pull them up. So today we're talking about, like I said, the 5 surefire ways to build a connection with your audience. And I've got my 5 notes right here. Let me minimize my screen. Okay. So we're just going to dig right in because, I want it to be really just get straight to the point for you guys. So number 1, like, and okay, let me just say it this way. It's not necessarily in order of ranking, which is like best, or, you got to start with 1 and then move to 3. These are just like randomly, like I'm just listing them out. Okay. So you could do these in any order. You can do them in any preference. I'm just listing them out. Okay. So 1, you want to be able to create and deliver content that solves or answers a problem that they struggle with. Okay, so this is like hands down one of the most common things. If you're running your business online, if you are using social media, you already should know this, right? But if you want to build a connection with your audience, you really want to be giving them content that they need, that they want, that will help them, right? It's going to be something of value to them. It's going to be something they can learn from. They are going to be able to answer some of the things that they're struggling with through your content, or at the very least, inspire them to take action, right? So I go through a whole content planning, a content plan with my private clients, and we really, really peel back the layers and really look deep. We really sort of look at the structure and the strategy behind their content. But at the core of all of that, whether you're sharing, whether you're using stories to share your content, whether you are posting videos, whether you're posting content, whatever it is, whether you're even talking about yourself or like your experiences, at the bottom of all of your content, your market, your audience, they need to be able to see themselves in your journey, right? They need to be able to relate to what you're saying, and it has to be of value to them. So I want to like sort of also put something out there, because I know a lot of my clients, when they come to me, they sort of struggle with sitting down and creating content. And they get really tripped up and they get really in their head about, well, what should I say and how should I say it? And is this good enough, or is this too long? Is this too short? Blah, 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 all that good stuff. And here's what I like to say to my clients who are struggling with that, or to anyone who's struggling with that, right? Know that not every piece of content that you're creating, my desk is shaking, not every piece of content that you create, not every video that you do, not everything needs to be revolutionary and life-changing, right? So stop putting that pressure on yourself. That's just permission to stop putting that pressure on yourself. You're probably not going to like change their world in one piece of content, right? But I want you to think about your content of less of you just providing information and just like, just giving them more information, giving them more value, which you should be, but I want you to use your content more of a way to spark conversation, right? If anything that you put out, whether it's a video, whether it's a story, whether it's a written post, whether it's a blog, whatever the case may be, if it gives your audience something to think about and spark conversation with it, it is a win, right? That's golden. And also, I also want you to know that if you're that kind of person that puts a lot of pressure on yourself to produce like these revolutionary pieces of content that you feel like everything is riding on these pieces of content, I want you to keep in mind the snowball, right? A snowball. So a snowball starts really small and it starts at the top of the hill or wherever it starts, right? And as the snowball rolls, it gets bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger, right? And at the end of it, you've got this big snowball. So content is the same way with your people. Your audience is going to see like one post or one video or one thing. And the more they see it, they'll see another one, and then they'll see another one, and they'll see another one. And at the end of it, it'll come together and you'll create that big snowball effect. And when you're able to create that snowball effect and they're seeing content and they're consuming your content, they see one thing, and they see another, and then they see another, and then they see another, and it turns into the snowball effect. That's how you're able to build that relationship and that connection with your people. And then more importantly, convert those people into clients, right? So always know that, and I know a lot of people do this, not everything is riding on that one thing that you put out. It's going to be that compound effect. It's going to be that snowball effect of them seeing one thing, then the next thing, then the next thing, right? So that's number one. Number two, you want to give them lots of love. Okay, so this is one that I'm super, super passionate about because I really do believe in, if you've been watching me and you've been watching this training series, you know that I've said it before, I've said it a million times, like the connection is a two-way thing, right? And so it's really about creating that even energy between you and your market. So you want to give them a lot of love. You want to show them that you care about what they have to say, about what they're up to. And you're just as interested in their business or in their life or their health or their whatever the thing is that you solve, right? Whatever market you're in and niche you cover, that you're just as interested in them as you want them to be in you, right? So that could be like you showing them love on their social media feeds as well, right? If it's not just about like you expecting them to come and comment on your stuff or be all up in your business or be all interested in you, and you don't reciprocate that, right? It's a two-way street. So connection, just like any relationship, right? It's a two-way street. So you want to make sure that, you're showing love to them on their feeds. You're returning that favor by paying attention to the content that they're putting out. And celebrating them and championing them when they're hitting successes, or if they're struggling with something or they're being vulnerable. You want to just sort of be there for them and show them that love too, because it's energy, you guys. It's like that same, energy attracts like energy. And when we think about the law of attraction, not to get all woo-woo, but like if you want people to be showing you love and building a connection with you, then you've got to reciprocate that. You've got to do that. And listen, I know that we've all got a million things to do. I know social media is noisy. I know all that stuff. But one of the tips that I like to do, and I like to tell my clients and help my clients with as well, is if you're putting stuff out there and you're seeing a certain person or a certain group of people really jiving off of your stuff and really showing you love, then just hone in on those people as well. You don't have to get everybody, right? But you want to get those core people who are showing you love, and then just reciprocate that, okay? So tell me if you're watching and you're liking these, or if you're doing these already, just let me know. Hey, Kawanza, thanks for joining me. All right, the third thing, and this kind of piggybacks on the first thing, and that is you want to always be showing up consistently. Show up consistently for your market, for your audience, for your people, right? Don't do the drive-by, hit and run type thing where it's like, you pop up here, you pop up there, or you just like, throw your stuff out there into the world and then you're gone for like, you hit and run, right? You don't want to do that. So you want to really be showing up consistently for your market, for your audience. Again, whether it is in your social media feeds, whether it's doing videos, whatever the case may be for you, show up consistently for your market. Whether it's sending them emails once a week or once a month or twice a week, whatever. And here's the other thing, whatever consistency looks like for you, you really, really want to stay consistent with what consistency looks like for you. And here's what I mean by that. You want to remember that consistency and frequency, they're not the same thing, right? So consistency is you being consistent with whatever the thing is you're doing. Frequency is just how often you're doing it, right? So those are two different things. So I'm not saying you have to be up in your market's face all the time and like being there so frequently all the time. What I'm suggesting is that if you know you write a blog post once a week, stay consistent with that. Like write your blog posts once a week and get that out to your people. If you know you send a newsletter or an email, once a month, be consistent. Like train your people to know you are going to show up in that way for them consistently, right? So remember also, consistency builds trust. That is what builds trust. And I think we talked about this maybe earlier in the week, where it's like, think about yourself. If you're dating someone and you're trying to get to know someone and you're trying to establish a relationship with them, and that person is in and out of your life nonstop, like, is there going to be a really strong factor there? No. You want to make sure that they're constant and they're a consistent presence there. And it's the same for your audience, right? Okay. The fourth thing is build community. So I love this one because as a business owner, as an online marketer, as someone who is, using, and especially now in 2019, you should be online. You should be. It's a disservice to your business if you're not online in some way, shape, or form, right? So if your goal is to be creating a connection with your audience that builds that sense of community, right? You want a sense of community around your brand. So you want people who are loyal and supportive to you and your brand and what you have to offer and what you have to say, right? And so you want to think about bringing together that sense of community with people who have similar goals, who might be on a similar path. So example, if you're a business coach, right? Chances are most of your market are going to be struggling with similar things. So you want to bring that sense of community around, that group of people. If you're a health coach or you're a career coach, your people are going to have similar tendencies. So you want to create that community around those things, right? And around how your solution can help them with that. So a quick example is like a Facebook group, right? So I'm not suggesting and I'm not advocating here. Hi guys, if you are here and you're joining me, please let me know that you're watching. Yeah, this is not me advocating you go open up a Facebook group and all that stuff. This is not what this is, but this is an example of how you can actually build community. So you can build community by, for example, having your own, private, closed, whatever Facebook group. You can start your own hashtag. You can even do like a meetup in-person type event where, you're building that community with people who are in your market, who are all going through the same thing, are on the same path, have similar goals, or people who are at different levels of it, but they're all something, that common ground that they can all learn from and build from together, right? And when you build your own tribe and your own community of people with your market, that's how you really create that sense of community. And that's how you become that leader in that community, right? And that is golden. That is golden, you guys. So any chance that you can get to actually build that sense of community and create that community with your people and with your market, it's setting you up for success. And listen, one thing I want you to know is that don't go into this expecting it's going to be an overnight sensation. Unless you're already well established and you've already got a really huge following, that may not happen right away, right? And even if you do, it may not happen right away. But if you are like most people who are, you're up and coming and you've got things going and you're making some money or you're wanting to make more money, whatever the case may be in your business, it's a progression. It's gonna take some time to get to that sense of community, but at the end of the day, when you've built that and you've honed in on that and you've created that space and you've cornered that, it is magic, right? Okay, so the fifth and final thing, you guys, is get them involved. So get your market involved, and interested, right? So the more you can get your market involved and engaging with you, the better, right? You always want to make them, and I've stressed this time and time again, you always want to make your people, in order to create that connection, you want to make them feel seen, heard, and understood. And I talked about that at length yesterday, right? And one of the best ways for you to do that is for you to invite them in to share their thoughts and their opinions, right? You want to show them that they're just as much of value to you, like the value that you're hoping to provide to them. Again, that even energy exchange, right? You want to let them know and make them feel validated and let them know that, you know, their opinions and their ideas count and they matter to you, right? So you can do this by, like, you know, surveying them and figuring out where they are now, what are they struggling with, and what do they want to learn now that you can provide for them, right? That's a really common one. That just go out there and talk to them and ask them, what is it that they need so that you can help them with that. The last thing you want is to just be throwing things that you think your people need. What better way than to go directly to the source? Again, we talked about that earlier this week, right? And if they're coming to you and they're telling you, I'm struggling with problem X, and you can, in integrity and like legitimately solve problem X with your solution, you want to give them that, right? Okay, thank you, honey. The second thing, okay, honey, sorry. The other thing is you can always get their input, right, on something that you are working on or something that you're planning or something that you have in the making. Get their input on it. You want to get their feedback, because your market, you guys, your market is such, when you use these 5 things that I'm talking about today, and you can create that connection with your market, and you can build that loyalty and that trust and that safety and that engagement and that connection with your market, it is such a huge asset to you and your marketing as a business owner. Because if you've got a bunch of ideal people that you can connect with on a consistent basis, and those people are tuning in and they're loyal and they want to hear what you're saying, and they're, you know, they're really engaging, and they're that reciprocation is there, that is such a valuable asset to you as a business owner. Because at any time you're feeling a stuck point, or anytime you want to launch something new, or anytime something is not converting the way you want it to convert, or anytime you're trying to build and grow, you can go directly to that source and get feedback, like get information. And that is such a huge asset, because there's tons of companies out there that are paying for that data, right? They're paying top dollar to get that data. And if you can create that organically within your email list, within your social media, within your groups, within your whatever, however you're doing it, if you can create that and you know you've got a pool of people that you can get that from, that is such an asset. I cannot stress that enough. So again, you want to get their input, anything that you're planning, anything that you're working on, and get their feedback as well, right? So a really cool thing that I have seen recently, and I want to offer it to you, is having a launch team. So what I've seen happening, and I think it's actually a beautiful, beautiful thing, is if you know you're about to launch something, if you can create a launch team of people who can support you on that launch. And of course you want to provide, you know, an incentive for them, like what's in it for them, right? If, you know, either it's a free coaching or some sort of an incentive, a giveaway, a prize, whatever. But you create like this launch team around the thing that you're going to launch. So I've seen it done a lot with podcasts, people who are about to launch a new podcast and they want to build up some buzz before it actually goes live and launches. They create a launch team. And this launch team, you know, is really a group of your most loyal fans and the people within your market that not only is supporting you and championing you and celebrating you, but those people are also doing the marketing for you, right? So create that sense of community and get them involved, and help them become a part of your launch team. And as a thank you to that, you offer them something back in return, because even energy exchange, right? So I think that's really cool, and I could talk more about that. If anyone has questions, I could definitely talk more about that. Just let me know in the comments. But I think those are all really, really great ways for you to connect with your market, and these are surefire ways, you guys. Surefire ways. These are ways that if you show up and you do this consistently, and you are really, really stepping into this, you will create, without a doubt, that deep connection with your market. And as I've been saying this entire month, when you create that connection with your people, and I'm going to go off on a tiny bit of a tangent here, but when you are able to create that connection with your people, not just in your social media and your marketing and your content, but also like when you bring those people on the phone with you, right? And you're having actual sales conversations with people on the phone with you, and you're able to create those types of connections. And that's a whole other topic that we're going to talk about, but in terms of when they're actually on the phone with you. But that's how you convert. I've said it over and over and over and over again. When you connect, you convert. When you connect, you convert. When you connect, you convert. So that's my topic for you guys today. Those are the 5 surefire ways to create a connection with your audience. If you're not doing any of those things, I really highly invite you to go out there and start doing that. If you're doing some but not the other, pick from the 5 and figure out which one feels most, which one you feel most strongly about right now, which one you feel will get you the best results right now, and start doing it. If you want to dabble in one of each, go ahead and do it, because the only thing it's going to take from you is your time. And if you've got time at your disposal right now, then it is one of the best ways to invest your time, because anytime you invest your time in connecting with your market, you will always get your ROI. You will always get your ROI, because people want to feel that connection. People always want to feel that connection. So that's it for today, you guys. I will see you tomorrow, and we're going to wrap this whole thing up with how to build that connection with your audience. I'm going to teach you how to take all the things that we've spoken about this week and then convert that into paying clients, right? So we talked about this week all those things. I'm going to recap all of that tomorrow, and then I want to show you like just taking off of today what we talked about. Now that you've got these things in place, how do we take that next step and convert that into paying clients? So I hope you join me for that tomorrow. Again, if you're watching or you're watching the replay and you have any questions, feel free to pop them into the comments, and I'll be sure to go back and answer them. And if not, I'll see you guys tomorrow. Have a happy Thursday.